One day, your son will tell the world who you were. And the question is today, will he speak from pride or from pain? I want to talk to you about today, about the legacy that you're leaving for your son and for his family and his sons and even generations to come. Because legacy isn't something that is in a moment. It's something that when we pass on, that a legacy is not only cemented, but it's also built and refined over time with reflection. And just think now, if you were to die right now, and God forbid that does happen, but visualize your funeral. Who's there? What's remembered? Because the things that you're doing now will become your legacy. So if you're drinking every fucking day and living it up and living the high life, that's going to be your legacy. And then your son, he's going to get up to speak, but does he know what to say? Because often we go to funerals and everyone's a good bloke at the end of their life, but were they really? When you think about it, think about all the funerals that you've been to over the years and all the fucking good blokes that have died along the way. Everyone knows they were assholes, but at the funeral, everyone's a good bloke. But that doesn't take away the memories that people have of you. That doesn't take away the legacy that you left or that you're leaving in the moment. Can be redefined right now. If you're still alive, if you're still breathing, you can change that memory because your legacy isn't in marble yet. It's not set in stone just yet. But if your son goes up and he only remembers your silence, what will the silence say? And he goes up and he's like, well, fuck, I've got no idea. Think about it. Will your son get up and will he choke out of love or struggle to find something good to say about you? Because when I was drinking, there wasn't a lot of good things to say, apart from he was alive and now he's not. And that's what legacy is about. And that is why I do this. Because I want to help you and I want to help your family create the legacy that you want for them and yourself. Because it's not about stopping drinking. Put that aside for a second. Even though that is why we're here. It's about we've put down the drink and now we're building a legacy. We're becoming the man that we always wanted to be but didn't have the balls to fucking step up to the plate to create. When you put down the drink, then you can start to create that man. Then you can start to be that man and then you can start to create the legacy that you ultimately want because that's what it's all about. And just imagine that you could go back at that point that you imagine at your funeral and you've got a choice. You're at the crossroads. You can continue on the path that you're on now or you can change. They're the only two options that you have. One leads to what you want. The other, well, I don't know. It leads to what you don't want. But when you think about it, the road and the path that you're on at the moment, you're already dead. Because most men, most fathers die before they're buried. They die in the bottle. They die in the slow death, disappearing into the numbness, to the abyss. Alive but fucking absent from reality. Physically in the house, but not in the heart. And just remember, if you're numb, that's not neutral. That's not baseline. That's decay. That means that anything that's not growing is dying. And if your relationships aren't growing, if your life isn't growing, it's dying. Just think about what parts of your life, what parts of you are you burying and what parts are you already buried? And what would it take for you to start to fucking dig that up? What would it take for you to get that part of you and come back? And then we have these lies. When I was drinking heavily, I was the king of bullshit and the king of saying stories to everyone that would listen. Some of the lies we say, when you think about it, oh, it's not that bad. What if your son drank like you? And then you go, oh, I'll stop next week. And then you're like, well, fucking, I'll stop next week, but the week after next week. So then the next week never comes. And then we've got, well, at least I'll fucking turn up. At least I'm here. Proximity isn't presence by any means. Families need you. Needs a fucking leader to step up and step into their power. Step into the leadership role of the fucking house. That's what we are. We are men. We are designed to be fucking leaders, not fucking anchors. We're there to create the future generation with our actions, showing them that this is the way that we be men. This is the way that we lead. And all the bullshit and all the lies that you tell, and you tell everyone around you and you tell your family, that doesn't, you're thinking that you're protecting them, but it doesn't. That just prolongs the pain. Now think about 3 lies that you keep repeating to yourself and just be honest. Start to think, well, fuck, what are the lies that I'm telling myself? Oh, I'll stop next week. It's not that bad. Or, oh, Bill up the road fucking gets pissed every night, but I only get pissed every fucking second night. Mum, fucking kicking goals. And think about it. Your kids see every fucking thing that you do. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And they don't want you to be perfect because fuck me. I'm not perfect. My kids know that I'm not perfect. But they know that I'm real. They know that I'll turn up. And that I know if I say something, I mean it. When I was drinking, that wasn't an option. That wasn't on the that was not available to them. Because when you're drinking, you're not there. But they don't need perfect. They need real. They need honest. They need somebody that just shows up. Not someone one sip away from pixie land. Every sip that you take is a silent sermon. And your son is being taught. This is manhood. This is how you cope with reality. When shit gets too hard, you just get pissed. So what do you think a man is? Somebody that runs away from pain, somebody that runs away when fucking shit's getting real, that they just get pissed and run away and hide inside themselves? Or do they just put their big girl pants on and then go to the fight? And you think if you've got a daughter, they're learning to love. They're learning what love is through seeing how you show up. So you're showing your daughters what a man is by your actions. And just imagine if your daughter's husband or partner was drinking the way that you are, what would that make you feel about her relationship? Or if your son had a relationship with the partner that drank the way that you did. But just remember, this is not about stopping drinking. I'm not talking about stopping drinking. I'm talking about fucking creating and starting a new legacy for your family, and for your community. Because you're not weak. You're just misaligned. You don't need to disappear. You just need to return back to you. And just be the sober father, the sober man, the sober leader of your household, and the sober man in your community. Because that's how leaders, and that's what leadership is about. And that's what Kick the Piss is about. It's about creating leaders to come back into themselves to lead them life. And if resurrection was possible, just for a minute, just a glimmer of hope, if you said, oh fuck, I can do this. If you could do this, what would you build? Who would you build it for? And who would be there with you when you create this? And then on the reflection side, who won't be there if you don't? And I know you think, oh fuck, if I stop drinking, I'm going to go to hell and I've got to deal with all this shit. But the truth is, you're not afraid to get pissed every night. You're afraid of facing the fucking reality that you've created. So ask yourself, why are you numbing? Why are you numbing these pain? What wounds are inside of you? The self-betrayal. And you hold up your little bottle and say, help me, I can hide behind the bottle. And you say that it's your shield, but in reality, it's your fucking cage. It's keeping you weak, stuck, and fucking afraid. I know when I was drinking all the time, my life was a shell of what it is now. And that's what coming back to saying that I'm not perfect. I haven't created everything that I want. But I am more free now that I don't drink than when I drank. And we think, oh, well, I shouldn't stop drinking because I'm going to give up freedom. It's bullshit. It's a story that you're telling yourself. And if you're putting yourself voluntarily in a cage, that's just silly. And you're just hiding behind the pain, the misery, and all the things that you don't want to face. But the truth is, real men face the pain. They look it in the eye and say, fucking not today, brother. And then they just barrel through it. Start to think about, well, what pain are you still carrying from your father, or from your past? What ghosts are in your life? And I want to invite you now to just think about, if today was it, if today you popped off and your legacy was written, if you died today, what would your kids remember? Would your daughter say, good men exist because of him? Would your son say, my dad showed me how to fight like a man? Or, oh, fuck, he gave up. And just remember that in reality, you're drawing a line in the sand right now. You either keep repeating the same fucking cycle that has gone on for centuries and may go on for years, or you rise up, become the man, become the leader, and become the person that you always wanted to be. Because we don't get a choice. You can either fucking fall and be weak, powerless, and a drunk, or you can be powerful. You can face the things that fucking scare you, or you can hide, and they'll still happen anyway. But the only way that you can fix things that scare you and cause you pain is by facing them. They will never be fixed hiding behind a bottle underneath your bed, rocking backwards and forwards and wanting for something to change. So write your line in the sand right now. What's going to change? What ends today? And what begins? Do you begin to write your new legacy? Do you begin to be the man that you've always wanted to be? Or are you just going to keep accepting mediocrity? Because you do have a fucking choice. And your son won't remember how much money you made. He won't remember how much shit you gave him. He'll remember your presence. He won't remember how many people followed you. He'll remember how much you cared. And he won't remember the things that you don't do, if you fucking don't do them. Because one day your children will tell a story about you. Will it be a warning? Or will it be a war cry? And I hope for you, for your sake, for your family's sake, and for your future, and for the man that you want to become, that you make today, the day that you come back inside of yourself and become the fucking man that you're supposed to be. Because what other choice do you have? And remember, I'm here. My name's Jason. I struggled with alcohol for fucking 20 plus years. And you don't have to. I invite you to go to kickthepiss.com. Reach out to me if I can help you in any way. And just know that a legacy can be built today if you make a fucking choice. If you do something that you haven't done. And it doesn't matter if you failed, or fucked up 27 times before. Because that's what leaders do. They just keep fucking winning. And if they lose, they get up and keep going again. I invite you to just get back up and go to kickthepiss.com.